with my private practice office in downtown San Francisco, my insurance, my commuting, the number of patients that I could see reliably, because you make appointments, people don't show, or,
Mm,
you can't, it's not punching in and punching out, right?
right.
I was I was bringing home $75 a week
Wow.
after all my expenses. And my husband and I looked at each other and I was like, this is too much work, like too much work. It's not work that I want to do as a new mom. And I'm pretty sure if we like fished around in our couch cushions, or I sold old records on Craigslist, which was kind of new at the time, I could come up with $75 a week. But for
It's amazing how many degreed professionals are in this. I did physician turnarounds for a while, as a crisis intervention consultant. And I can't tell you how many doctors made less that were in private practice than every one of their staff. Because by the time everything was paid and all the things they had to do to keep their certifications up and do this and do this and do this, they were not making it. And that is more common than we're seeing a lot more people that picked being lawyers and professional engineers and people in professions where the fees, there's you can't just leave. There's things to do, and there's a lot more responsibility for that job than, let's say, a t-shirt shop or something like that. They're just saying, wow, it's not the ROI is not really in it for me. And it's definitely not in it for how I want to live my life. So for you guys that are listening, this everything that she's talking about, and the decision she's made, I want you to think about how she's asking herself these questions and why she's making the pivots at the time. Because a lot of times we get caught in the hamster wheel of doing, and we stop thinking. And we have this overwhelming feeling of being unhappy and unfulfilled, but we're just so quote unquote busy all the time. We don't stop to reflect on the why of that. And so I really have to hand it to you, to be in that. I don't know if it's just your personality or whatever, but this is real higher level stuff, to have a new baby on the way. And you've got all the stuff that encompasses that, plus the other things that you're going through. And you were still asking these questions instead of just going on autopilot, as your marriage crumbles and everything else goes, and then wondering, well, how did it all fail? You have to be aware, and we anesthetize ourselves by so many different things, from TV. I mean, we have these screens that anesthetize us in a very terrible way right now. So I just hope that y'all are paying attention to that. I just want to pinpoint that out as you're talking. So anyway, you were saying $75 a week. I can go on Craigslist, which is brand new, didn't even know about it, but I'm sure I could do better. Okay, so that's where we're at here in this story.
Yeah, so that was just that was what went into me being like, this is too much work. Like, I'm pretty sure, I was working with, I experience working with a hospitalized adolescent population. So I was like, I think I could pretty much walk in anywhere and say, I want to teach art at your school or your organization. And they're going to say, we know you can handle a room of teenagers just fine. And that's what happened. So I was teaching art a couple times a week for this great nonprofit organization called College Track, and was starting my business. And, kind of the conversation between my husband and I was like, well, let's start at $75 a week with the business. Can I make $75 a week? And, for a while, as in any business, there were weeks where I was under $75 a week. There were weeks when I was over $75 a week. But the first year of growth was really just about meeting that minimum and living with the decision, reminding myself about the decision I had made. Like, I'm building something. I'm building something, and I'm the primary caregiver of my daughter while my husband is at work. I'm doing what I want to be doing as a parent. And I was meeting that very small goal, which, that's really the benefit of like separating fact from feeling, right? Because that is such an absurd thing to think about. I'm a licensed professional. I had a successful private practice, but when it came down to it, my insurance, my office, how many patients I wanted to see during a week with a newborn, all of these are really common decisions that women face, I think, now. And this is, going back over a decade ago for me. But the making the list of the facts of the situation And then the feelings of the situation was integral because I never would have believed, unless I had really tooth and nail gone through the facts, that $75 a week was all I could really bet on. Like I had to average it out. I couldn't say, oh, well, let's assume everybody, all my patients come. Like we can't plan that way, not with, a
Yeah.
brand new expense as a child coming along. So that was, and I still, I've done that with my business all along. Like what are the facts? What are the feelings? Where do they intersect at all? Sometimes they do a lot. Sometimes, they're on opposite sides of the field.